How's it going, people? Welcome back to the Supporters Club. We're going to discuss the European Super League today. News has broken out recently that some of the top teams across Europe are thinking about breaking away from their domestic leagues, breaking away from the champions in Europa League and forming their own European League. Today I have with me Mo, Robbie and Claude. Let me start with Mo. How do you feel about this news that Arsenal, as well as other teams, are considering leaving the league?
Well, look, the only bit of news around at the moment that's worse than this is trying to give Richard Scudamore £5 million. That's how bad I think this idea is, to be honest with you. And the thing that I really don't like about the idea, and I'm sure we'll go into more detail as we speak about it, but it is motivated purely by greed, purely by money. That's the absolute motivation of it, and the impact of it will be, I think, devastating for let's say the smaller clubs, you know, that will be outside of this, like, you know, your Tottenhams and your Rotherhams and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It will be devastating for them.
It's a worry for them.
And yeah, I think it's really, really bad news for the culture of football, for the purity of the game, and for grassroots football and smaller teams, and more than anything, bad news for fans. Yeah,
to be honest, you touched on most of the points I believe in as well. I think, Claude, how do you feel that this will impact on football in general? The atmosphere has already taken a hit in the last 10 to 15 years with the corporate world coming in.
Well, it's going to be very expensive for the fans, isn't it?
Yeah, away fans are if we're playing Barcelona in Spain, our away fans are going to be majority made up of Spanish Arsenal fans.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it. It's just not possible. I don't want to see it happening. But it looks like it's going to happen, because if teams win these leagues by so many points, like Man City win the league by like last year, and keep doing it year on year in, people are going to even get bored of the Premier League as a product. So they might then the chairmans and all, oh, we've got to do Super League. That's what's going to happen eventually. I think it's a very bad thing, because it's going to destroy all the clubs that make up these leagues. You've got to think about other clubs as well. Football's not just about, you know, these 5 clubs. It's about 92 league clubs. You know?
Definitely, exactly. And going back to our FA Cup run a couple of years back when we had Sutton and Lincoln, them sort of games, it's everything in football. I
was at Sutton the other night, by the way. I was a couple of weeks back.
What are you doing down here?
I just went to wanted to watch the non-league game. Me and Lee Judges went down there. It was quite enjoyable. But you want to see teams like that being able to progress, like Wimbledon. You don't want to see that dream that they can progress up to the league, like Bournemouth. Yeah?
Leicester.
You're not going to get that anymore.
Yeah. But the one thing,
then you're not going to get this relegation and promotion.
Yeah, that's the key thing. That's what I'm going to say.
Football's all about.
That's the one thing we didn't mention. That's what they're taking out of it. There's no relegation. It's a closed-up shop. That, for me, that's not football anymore.
This is a
franchise.
Like a lot of dead games, like you've seen even in the Champions League now. You get a lot of dead games, like the Europa League now.
Yeah, well, they did say something about, initially there was no talk of relegation and whatnot. So I just thought it's a league full of teams that rolls on again next year. Then they brought in that the founders cannot be relegated for the first 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
So that makes me think that teams like the Rotherhams and Tottenhams will be in a lower European league, which improves the idea for me, because then there will be a league format, there will be relegation and promotions. But I'm just back to Claude with this travelling away to other countries to watch your club, and the money at home games. If we're playing Barcelona one week, then Real Madrid, then PSG, and then AC Milan, home games will be £100 minimum. And it's just going to... Robbie, how do you feel about this European Super League?
You've got to think about the fans as well. It's about... Football's about fans.
We are the core.
Yeah, it's not about these people that are sitting in the boardrooms. It's about the fans.
It's all about money now.
But it's also about, if there's no fans watching these games, Robbie,
well,
then
we saw it.
The product's dead. If there's no fans watching it, the product's dead.
We saw it the other day with that England game when they played Croatia. There's no fans there.
Yeah, no atmosphere.
The game was, no matter how good that game would have been, it was going to be rubbish because there's no atmosphere, completely dead. But the problem we've got in football at the moment is that the people that are running it, just all they care about is money. They don't care about fans.
Yeah,
we see it all the time. They move games to times where fans have got no chance of getting home. That Man United game we got coming up in December on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
If you're not driving to that game, how are you going to go? You can't get a train back. The last train leaves Manchester, what, 10 o'clock?
Yep.
So unless you leave the game really, really early, there's no point in going to that game. So you, as a fan, you can't go, but TV want it on that night.
Yeah.
We get great viewing figures, so it's moved to that night. And they do it all the time. And the problem with football at the moment is that these money guys, they're driving it. And I think, did you say it will happen?
Yeah.
At some stage. It may not happen in the form that they're saying it is now, but they keep going on about it so much that at some stage, in some form, we are going to see like this European Super League. Because you make a good point, Claude. There's a lot of leagues around Europe now. You know who's going to win them, innit?
Yeah.
You know that in Germany, it's, out of the next 10 years, how many years will Bayern win it?
Yeah, 60%
Right?
definitely.
In Italy, it's Juventus win it nearly every single year.
Yeah.
In England, it's going to be Man City.
Chelsea.
Everyone's chasing them at the moment. So they win it every year. In France, PSG win it every single year. In Portugal, it's probably one of Benfica or, you know, Porto. They win it. Every league, really, you know what I mean, because they're not being done in a fair and even way, the way transfers are done, the way money's spent, you know, if we don't get a grip of this thing, these teams are just going to be like, yeah, well, we win our league every year. It's no competition. We need to be in a Super League. You see already teams like in Spain, same thing. Real Madrid, Barca, Atletico sort of come into it a bit, but those two teams run that Spanish league. If they turn around and they leave the league tomorrow, well,
but you know, there is the potential that actually it's not going to be a case of teams leaving their domestic league. Arsene Wenger back in 2009 predicted that this would happen, but as early as 2019. And you know, now the conversation's really hotting up, so his prediction's pretty much on point because the leaked documents by Der Spiegel say 2021. But when Arsene Wenger talked about it, and his prediction was that this will replace the Champions League and the Premier League, this will replace the league. And in terms of how we watch football, the domestic league will replace the Champions League, which will be played midweek. And this will be the big ticket item on the weekend. So Champions League will be gone because effectively this becomes a Champions League. And now this will be the one that will take place on the weekends, league football to be done on the weekdays. But then now there's also another theory that it will be a case of the Premier League will drop down and all the top leagues, La Liga and all of that sort of stuff, will drop down to maybe 16 teams. Yeah. And these top elite teams that are going into the Euro Super League won't take part in the domestic league. But there's huge ramifications of this. You know, it's, I think Gianni Infantino was saying that his threat now is that if you go and join this European Super League, you're not going to be within the remit of international football. So you sacrifice your international career. There's a lot of resistance to it.
Yeah, but it all comes down to money.
Yeah, but you know,
because you have players that will be like, you're already
it's empty stadiums.
No, but hold on, Claude, you've already got players, right, that don't go for international duty, right? If it boils down to 300 grand a week, or playing for England, right? What do you think they're going to choose? This is a serious threat
problem.
To football, and you know, for me, it's very upsetting because I like to go. My favourite away day at the moment is Bournemouth. Away, it's brilliant. Small ground, unique for many travelling fans. You're really close to the action. They play good football. It's always a great game, great trip. Yeah, that will be gone. I'll be going to Barcelona away where they put you high up, about you can hardly see the game, right? You just see dots down on the field just for the sake of it being a TV spectacle.
That's it.
You know, obviously my love is Arsenal. Everyone here, our love is Arsenal. But I think we all, as well, care about other teams.
Yeah, definitely.
We care about the other. I mean, we look at the thing with Leicester the other day. We care about Leicester. We care about all these other teams. You know what I mean? Because without those teams, football's not worth it as far as I'm concerned.
In our footballing life, we've seen Leeds reach the Champions League semi-final. Like, yes, we're not Leeds fans, but that we all remember that. Yeah. And we'll lose them moments where the lower teams have come up and become something, like we said about Leicester winning the league. But one thing I want to...
And then the Premier League...
What we need to do is revamp these European competitions as well.
Sorry, just before you say that, Claude, right? The point that you make, Mo, right, is that if that league moves above and the next one moves down, then what starts happening to the Premier League? It'll end up like the FA Cup. Where once upon a time, the FA Cup, when I was growing up, was the biggest...
It'll be completely devalued.
Now the FA Cup, You see the teams that people put out.
Yeah.
That'd be the same for the Premier League then. They'd be like, oh, we only put out.
Don't you think also we need to revamp these European competitions? Because this Europa League now has become a joke. This is a dead competition now.
It's money again, isn't it?
Well, do you know what, Claude? I'd say with the Europa League, I'm no fan of it, but it's dead in the group stage.
Yeah.
And then in the knockout stage, because of that Champions League place, it's only by virtue of that Champions League place that they've actually kind of salvaged it a little bit.
But again, it's a money thing because they make teams that have failed in another competition drop out of that and come into this competition. And last year, one of them teams won it.
At the halfway stage.
It's all about money.
Of course,
Right?
But
because they want to have someone, they want to give a little reward to those teams and they want to have like, they want to have a big teams left at the end of this thing. They don't want it to be RB Leipzig versus.
But you know, talking about money,
Lyon or something like that. You know?
If we go into the depth of why this Euro Super League is even being discussed and the reason behind the money factor is that we're talking about fans, and I think the people that are pushing this idea, if they heard us talking, they'd think how naive of us, because we're talking about fans as the fans that go to games. The fans that go to games, match-going fans, are the most neglected part of football, in my opinion. You know, they don't give you what you want, they don't really care about you, and that's because if you compare from 10 years ago, the match day revenue associated to tickets is a much lower proportion of an overall revenue, streams of a club. Now it's all about TV money.
They say that teams can have empty stadiums.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now they're going to listen to us talking, saying, "Oh, they don't give a toss about fans." Well, actually, they'd argue they do care about fans. They care about the fans in America, in the Middle East, in Africa, in Asia. That's the market they're catering to.
Nobody goes to watch the games.
But
even those fans
people will. There. I think they know that. They know that people will go to watch the games. But ultimately, we're saying that their focus is money. So even if it's half-empty stadiums, the money will still be there because people in all around the world will tune in, and that's where the reason comes in. Because if you look at the TV rights,
I'll interrupt you there a minute, Mo. You're saying, but do you think the interest around the world will be there?
100%.
Half-empty stadium.
100%.
No,
when Barcelona play PSG, people will watch. Simple as that. And I think they know that.
And you know the other thing, Claude, someone was making this point to me the other day. He's like saying, would there be half-empty stadiums as well?
And exactly, that's not a guarantee.
At the end of the day, you wouldn't have. So let's just say, for instance, in Spain at the moment, there's no travelling support, is there? When Barcelona play Real Madrid, there's no Real Madrid. There's like you'll see. There's probably like 50 Real Madrid fans there. And vice versa when they play in Barcelona, they don't travel.
But that's the great thing about the Premier League.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying that, right, for the people who are doing that Super League now, as long as they've got 100,000 Barcelona fans in there, they've got their atmosphere. They don't care about away fans. They don't care about us travelling. Then that's so what? So they might still have packed stadiums. You know, Bayern will still be packed. The only way it could be halted, and I could see this initially anyway, would be there'd be a revolt by the fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because they'd be like, we're not having it. Because even we've seen in Spain that, you know, with this talk of them playing a game abroad in America and things like that, the fans are starting to revolt against that and say, no, if you do that, you know, so that could be the only thing that could stop it.
And there's one more.
Power. And if they propose to do this, this is what I want to see happen. I want to see fans around Europe just say no.
Yeah. There's one more thing that could stop it, though.
What gives these 5 clubs the divine right to say they can just step up on their own?
But let me answer that question, Claude. There's one other thing that could stop it, and the whole reason it's happening is because of TV money and how it's split. So if you look at La Liga, you know, for many years, Barcelona and Real Madrid had their own TV deals, and it wasn't evenly split. Then you look at the Premier League, and it was evenly split. And from 1992 up to 2017, Premier League TV rights was equally split. And this is the cause for all of this frustration, and this is why they want to get out of this arrangement. Because they're saying, when Bournemouth play Fulham, not as many people watch that as when Arsenal play Man City, for example. And they don't think that it's currently a fair split. So last summer, in 2017, they were able to address that a little bit. So now it's not an even split. It's on a sliding scale based on league position. But they want to get out of this trap, basically, and say that, you know, we want to be playing and competing with clubs that bring as much to the table as we bring to the table.
Equal playing
exactly
in terms of revenue.
Arsenal won't look at Bayern Munich and say you're not pulling your weight, yet you're getting more than you deserve. And that's what it all comes down to. So as you're saying, fans can be one thing that stops it. But the other thing is that, you know, this could be a bit of posturing. And the Premier League and other leagues might turn around and say, OK, fine, we'll address that balance a bit further for you. And then the clubs might feel as though, okay, they're being rewarded in terms of the viewership that they're bringing to the table. They're being proportionately rewarded in terms of the split of TV rights.
Well, let me play an devil's advocate here. Let's say we're not Arsenal fans. Let's try and put ourselves in the position of a Bournemouth fan. We're a Bournemouth fan looking at this European Super League. We've got no part of it. And like Robbie said, the same team win the Premier League every year, French League. Would a European Super League improve, in a way, the domestic league competition? Because there is a gap now. Between the top 6 and the rest of the league, there's a gap commercially. And between the top 2 and the rest of the league, there's a gap talent-wise. If you take those 6 teams out and they are now in the Super League, the Premier League, or whatever it's going to be called, becomes a lot more competitive. So for these fans of Bournemouth, of Everton, of whoever else is going to stay in the domestic league, would it be an improvement? Do you think they care if they play Arsenal?
It would kill it. It would kill the league.
Yeah.
Because all the interest is going to be like what the Premier League's done to. But when I was growing up, a bit older than you guys, apart from Claude, when we were growing up, Claude, right?
You're older than me,
right? Yeah, when we were growing up here, you know, the Championship or Division 1, Division 2, they were sometimes watched in equal measure.
Yeah.
Now, it's all about the Premier League. Everything you see, everything you watch on TV, yeah, they show the highlights of all the live stuff, all that, apart from the odd game, it's all Premier League. Premier League has killed those other leagues.
Yeah.
They will never, ever catch up to the Premier League, right? The Premier League is where it's at. That's where everybody wants to be. That's where everybody wants to watch those games. Those are all the glamour games. That's where all the players go to. Yeah. You know, you're not going to have a player, you're not going to have Leeds United, even if they have a massive budget, they're not going to be able to tempt a player away from the Premier League because he can play in the Premier League. So that was, the Super League would have the same effect. It would kill the Premier League because it's going to be even big. It's going to be on another level to that now.
And let's not
forget, if I'm a footballer, I don't want to play in the Premier League. I want to play in the Super League. I want to play against PSG.
But can't we all sit here and say that we can all agree that the corporate world has kind of ruined the atmosphere of football grounds, and it's kind of ruined it as a fan of football teams in the past 10 to 15 years, the way it's gone into a business direction. So if we can agree that that is the case, then if we are a fan of these lesser clubs, and let's think about what we was as Arsenal fans in the 90s, forget the winning, the atmosphere of the ground, going to matches, having a drink, having a burger, it was all part of the day. Now, for a Bournemouth fan, for an Everton fan, this is still the norm. But they probably look at us clubs at the top, getting all the money, spending all the money, and thinking, unless a Leicester season happens, it's not happening for us. Whereas if you take these 6 clubs out, the domestic football, these fans are not going to turn and say, this league doesn't matter anymore, because they still support the team in that league.
I think, look, the reality is, right?
You're stopping that Leicester dream. That's what you're stopping now.
Yeah, because it will never feel the same. You know, if they know that actually, you know, the competition has been made easier to allow them to achieve something, well, the achievement's not going to be the same. And the reality is, if this does happen, and as I said, there's 2 options. One is that they leave their league, or the other is that the league gets played on a weekday potentially. If we leave the league, for example, you tell me, you know the 5 clubs that are going from the Premier League into this Euro Super League. Who's going to win the league the year after that happens? Who's going to win the domestic league the year after that happens?
Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah. Everton. Everton.
It'll be Tottenham, won't it?
Everton. Well, listen,
none of us want to see that.
You know what, right?
Sunday, Wolves won't be far away.
Yeah. They need to even out these. Well, then, having said that, would these people, if there's no chance of them getting into that elite league, would these chairmen and that invest loads of money into Wolves and things like that? Because
the money wouldn't be there.
We're not. The money's not going to be there.
Because that's the point.
So that will, all those clubs will drop off. I mean, this to me is a horrendous idea.
Yeah.
And it could potentially, these money guys are going to kill football eventually, right? Because all they're thinking about is a pound notes, and they're killing the soul of football, right? They really are killing the soul of football with some of the things that they're proposing, right? And do you know what? Sometimes I look at the American sports, right? And you see like the Super Bowl, many different teams in different, you know what I mean, different over the years can win that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same in basketball and that, because they have a fairer system when it comes to the transfer of players and their draft systems and stuff like that, salary caps. They still get big salaries, but they just,
the main thing,
you're not really going to have a Man City in American sports, because the money.
You'll soon get fed up with that, Robbie, because you'll think, oh, how long have I got to wait for my team to win it again? Because if you're
no, but it's
but
it means that teams have to think intelligently to get a good team. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. It's not just. Is it hard what Man City are doing right now? We've got loads of money. We've got billions of pounds.
It is hard.
No. Listen, let me just break it down for you a little bit, right? Obviously, it's hard to win the league and stuff like that. But is this really hard, right?
It makes it a hell of a lot easier.
If I'm a billionaire, right? First of all, let me go and get the best manager in the world. Then I'll go and get the best players around. Now, am I going to finish mid-table with that? No. And do you know what I'll do? If that manager doesn't work, I'll sack him and bring in the next best manager in the world, and I'll pay whatever the compensation is. It doesn't matter. And if that player, like what they did with the goalkeepers, if that goalkeeper don't work, bin him, bring in another one. Bin him, bring in... Other teams can't do that. No. You've outlaid 35 million, say, for instance, in Arsenal's case, on Granit Xhaka. He has to work. We have to find a way to make him work. If he was at City, they'd have probably said, you know what, you've had a season and a half, man. Get rid of him. Who's the next hottest midfielder out there? Bring him in. How much does it cost? 100 million? Who cares? Get it. We got it.
Yeah.
Until we start making these leagues fairer, and still we start making football fairer, we're not going to have even a even competition no more, because
and just one.
The money's fair
right now.
Robbie, Leicester proved your theory wrong, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but how many exception?
It's a one-off, isn't it?
Yeah, even
how
if
many?
it's
You know, it's a one-off.
It can be done.
Yeah,
but
when's the next
one-off?
Yeah, when's the next? And what's happened since?
Yeah, I mean, come on, that is a freak. That's a freak occurrence.
Who's got near it since?
You know, the other thing I want to just mention on the TV money is that right now, however much a Premier League TV deal is worth, I can't remember off the top of my head, it won't stay the same if the European Super League gets created. That's the one thing that we need to remember here. That will drop. And all of the money that BT Sports, Sky Sports and Amazon and Yahoo and all these other people that are being rumoured to step in now, that will all go to the Euro Super League. So, you know, your question before, will owners pump money in? No, they won't, because there won't be as much money to get out of the club. And I've often asked myself, linking this back to Arsenal now, what's Stan Kroenke's exit strategy from the club? You know, why didn't he sell to Usmanov when Usmanov was bidding for his shares and all that sort of stuff? And you think to yourself, well, he's already had massive capital growth on his shares so far, so surely it'd be a good time to sell. He's not selling, because we're all sitting here saying it's inevitable. This will happen. He knows this will happen.
Holding out.
And then the TV deal of this European Super League will be huge. The Premier Leagues will shrink, will be taking money away from them. And the capital appreciation of these 11 clubs that are the guaranteed members, plus the 5 that are the invited members, they will grow immensely. Yeah. And at that point, that'll be the time to sell. And I'm only saying that'll be the time to sell because we don't have the vision to see what comes after that.
I'm hoping there's going to be a revolt by fans. That fans will
it can't happen. It can't be allowed to.
That fans would just say, right, protests right across Europe, refuse to participate in this league.
But will you not watch? Will you hand in your season ticket if it happens? Let's say 2021, Arsenal in the European Super League. Will you say no? Here's my boycott.
I think obviously you'd have to. The boycott would have to happen before it gets off the ground. So it would have to be.
I'm finished with the game.
It would have to be a movement.
It will still happen, right? That's what I'm saying to you. Let's say a boycott is arranged.
There's going to be a lot of fans who say,
I'll be finished with it. I'll be finished with it.
But look, I'm just saying. All right, so that's your opinion, right? You'd say no. Robbie, what would you do? The league's going to happen. 2021, the league's going to happen. Would you go? Would you hand your season ticket in, or would you go?
I'd be protesting.
But would you go to the games or not?
Would I go to the games once it's underway?
For him, it's business, isn't it?
Well, what do you mean it's business?
Turkish, would you go to the game?
Do you know what it is?
Listen, they're all right, part of the work, but honestly, my heart wouldn't be in it again.
All right, but take the work out of it, Robbie. Take the work out of it.
Listen,
would you go as a fan?
The thing is, right, we probably would end up going.
I would end up going.
The thing is about it is that we saw it with that Man United boycott, and they started to Salford FCs and all this, or whatever and then in the end, after those fans, they went back. They've gone back to Man United. But I think that this if fans mobilised across Europe of all these big clubs and said, no, we ain't going. We're not having it. We ain't going. We really brought a big movement to it. Maybe but then
hopefully.
Turkish, would you go?
Would I go? Do you know what it is with my thought of that? naturally, I'd say yes, I'd go. But what I see happening with that is the way Arsenal have been run over the years. If we was to go into European Super League, we'll be getting smacked left, right and centre by Barcelona, PSG, Real Madrid every week. Now, once that starts happening and you couple that up with what you're saying and it's facts that this is all for money. So they've changed the league for money and now Arsenal are getting smacked up left, right and centre. I'll stop going. Like I stopped going to home games under Wenger because I just didn't like the direction the club went in. I stayed at away games. Now I can't do that if the Super League happens because away games will be 200, 300 pound trips across Europe.
That's another thing.
So
I think, look, the business world is like the most adaptable there is. You know, there will be cheaper alternatives. You know, there will be businesses that are set up where you buy a flight season ticket and all of that sort of stuff.
I don't think
and it won't be as expensive as it is now.
They might not care about away support, as I said, because remember, as we're saying, a lot of those places across Europe, they don't have no real away support anyway, or it's very minimal, you know, and so they won't care.
Even the visa issue now.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the clubs
will
start. We're going to subsidise some of your. We're going to subsidise some of your travel when you're going.
Because ultimately, there's money to be made, even from away tickets.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't feel the same, man. I want to compete.
There'll be a lot of fans that won't be able to go to the away games.
I want to compete in our English league, right? And then if we come out on top, we then go into a European competition to take on the best of Europe. And if we win that, then there's a Super Cup. There's nothing wrong with kind of how it's laid out at the moment, right? I don't like the Europa League because of the teams.
I think if they revamped the European competitions properly, I think you could get a better.
I would like to see a fairer system in football where other teams get a chance to compete on a level playing field, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, it's all about money. It's a bit like in America where, you know, everybody knows that, you know, the guns, all those guns there are not a good thing.
Yeah.
But you've got the NRA there. It's a bit like in football. They know these powerful bodies that run football, they're so powerful, got so much money, there's so much money behind it that they're driving it. But I'm telling you one thing, if they keep ignoring fans, there's going to come a tipping point when fans will say, you know what? Even right now with young fans, right? They're pricing a whole generation out of the market in the Premier League, right? Young fans cannot afford to go to the game because where they're going to get, the other day Liverpool, what's the cheapest ticket, what, like 80 quid?
Yeah.
You're a kid like 16, 18, where are you going to get 100 quid just off? That's, even if you're working, that's nearly all your money for the week gone.
Let me ask.
They're pricing these kids out, they're staying at home, they're watching a bit of it on TV, they're playing it, now even like esports are coming in.
Yeah.
And people are starting to say, well, let's just do it esports instead, playing PlayStations and Xboxes and stuff. If they're not careful with all this stuff they're doing, they're going to price out a whole generation. They're not going to be interested in football.
Let me ask you one question, though, Claude and Robbie specifically. In 1992, when they set up the Premier League, you know, in the years before that, when all the conversations were taking place, was there this sort of resistance, or were people all for it?
Not, because the way in which it sort of came in, it just sort of, it was more seamless because they didn't change the fact that you still got a league. It changed from Division 1 to the Premier League.
But was there resistance to it? Were people saying, oh, it's fine the way it is, we don't need this?
Yeah, there were people saying that, but, you know, because it was the same teams really, it was seamless. But if they'd have turned around in 92 and said, yeah, right, it's going to be Arsenal next week, it's Arsenal versus PSG, or Arsenal versus Marseille or something, people would be like, what?
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the resistance might start coming in. And I don't know. I hope that if this was something that was to come through, that people would resist it. People would stop going. And that this is something that will never happen because
I just worry in 25 years it will just be the norm.
Over the last 10, 15 years, a lot of people who used to go in the like 70, 80 can't afford to go anymore as well. We
all work hard to get the tickets to the games at the end of the day. It's not, even if you're making a lot of money, it's not cheap.
In the 80s, 70s and the 80s, I could get out the station at Arsenal station and walk in at 2:30 and just walk in, give the money at the turnstile and go in. And that's not happening anymore.
Exactly, and that's why, we have to round it up now, but that's why I kind of brought in the devil's advocate view of it as a Bournemouth fan or a lower league fan, because that excitement might come back. You're not looking at the corporate clubs at the top of the league anymore. You're looking at potentially reaching the top of the league where a Tottenham might be or a Everton might be. So
it might be a dead.
That's for them, mate, but not for us. That won't be for us.
None of the TV, from TV, stop showing it.
Yeah.
Like any sport. all sports that are big is because of TV, the TV interest in it. That's where the money comes into it.
And that's what they're catering to, isn't it?
That's why netball players don't get the same amount of money as football players.
Yeah.
Because no TV, it's not on TV.
No, it's
right?
true.
So if TV moves away from that, what's left of the Premier League and goes to the Super League, those clubs will.
You go back years as well, though. You go back years, you'd only see three highlights of 3 games on the TV.
That's it, yeah.
If your team, if you didn't go watch your team, you wouldn't see your team play.
I'm all for progress, man, but I just don't like
the wrong direction.
But ultimately, if it's going to happen, Arsenal have to be part of it. Otherwise, we get left behind. I don't want it to happen, but you know, if I'm CEO of Arsenal Football Club and they're doing it, well, I'm on that table.
Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment of it, really. I can obviously see that you're against it, and
it's always going to come from a business point.
But you know, otherwise we'll get left behind, won't we?
Yeah,
you know? We will not see the world's best players at our team. And
don't we have to also now, with the Premier League now, it's going to start turning into a one-horse race. It's about time us, as our club as well, has got to forget about this self-sustaining crap and get on with it and try and be like Man City.
yeah.
Because I don't think we can compete otherwise.
To be honest, I agree with Claude's
but
assessment.
you were talking
of
about
it.
Leicester earlier.
I agree with Claude's assessment.
No, but I'm talking about if we want to compete, yeah.
But Leicester competed. You were talking them about as an example.
On a
earlier.
one-off, but as in your overall assessment of the European Super League, I'd rather they revamp the Champions League and Europa League, keep the domestic league as it is, because that's where my love for football comes from. Domestic league doesn't come from anywhere else. Revamp Champions League, revamp Europa League, or even throw out the idea of a summer World Cup for these big European teams who win their league. Every 2 years they have a World Cup in the summer where they play all the champions of the world.
Stop getting so
I'd scrap this Europa League for a start.
Yeah.
I would scrap it and just revamp the Champions
But it
League.
looks like they're looking into things like that. But again, we have to round it up.
But it's that split of TV money. Until that's still there, this will happen.
I mean, even the Champions League now, you've got teams like that Victoria Pilsen, come on. In the Champions League. Getting absolutely 6-0 the other night.
Yeah,
It's
but
not a proper
but again,
you know, it's not.
we're talking about being fair, and if we want to be fair, we have to allow the champions of these countries in. Otherwise, we start becoming
a closed shop, doesn't it?
closed shop, and then it's just going to become Spain, France, Germany, and England, and that's also going into more greed, and that is possibly an area they can look into. But you know what? I just want to say,
it's a vicious circle, isn't it? I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a vicious circle.
With that money that Victoria Pilsen get, they can improve. Maybe in 10 years' time, they will be competitive.
potentially, yeah. But obviously, we're all unhappy with the way things are sounding right now with the European Super League.
I hate this year. I know we're in it. I hate it. I just can't stand this Europa League.
Same.
I hate it. I mean, I can't. It's just now dead. I mean, the next 2 games are boring.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Come on.
No, you're right. And to be honest,
You're going to Ukraine, yeah?
Vorskla? Can't wait.
More like for the, is it vodka they drink over there? More like you're going to go there for that. Your troops get sloshed on vodka. But it's not for the game. The game's going to be a bore, isn't it?
yeah, you make it what it is when you go to these places. You have to make it what it is.
Because of you. But deep down, if you had the choice, you wouldn't be going, would you? Yeah.
I'll be going, man. What are you on about, man?
Yeah.
Of course I'll be going.
Now, thanks, Claude, because to be honest, I was going to round it up, but I think you rounded it up there. Your opinion, I'll back that. Thank you for Mo coming down, Robbie and Claude. This is Supporters Club. Make sure you leave your comments below. Are you for the European Super League? Are you against it? Or are you up for another format like Claude? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe, share, retweet, do all of that stuff, and we'll catch you next time.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? This is Ian Wright. Don't forget to check out my new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Check it out, man. It's gonna be.
Yo, what are you doing, man?
I'm sorry, Rob. I had to touch the Holy Grail mic, bro.
No, you can't do that, bro. What are you doing? You can't do
Like
that.
a rascal like that, bro.
Don't forget to check out Ian Wright's brand new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. It's going to be brilliant.